Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for our RFA 17 virtual office hours. If you don't mind, we'll just give you just a few minutes to just indicate, you don't have to, because this is just open up to the public. We just want to have an idea of who we are, who's joined us today. If you just put your name and your, if you are your site, your affiliation or private school, public school, whatever your organization is, so we can just get an idea, and then we'll get started. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Alicia Alves. For those of you who may not know who I am, I work in federal programs, and one of my main grants that I do review and oversee others, but my main one is the 21st Century Grant. And we are delighted to have you all here joining us today. My background with 21st Century is that I have had the opportunity to host it in a building where I was the building principal. It had a huge impact, not only just, I would say, on the staff and the students, but the community, and as well as myself. And who knew that in some years to come that I would end up working in federal programs and then actually working with the grant itself and the program and the managing of it and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and let my other folks go ahead and introduce themselves.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Rebecca Pines, and I work mainly with the 21st Century Grant here at the State Department as well. And I don't have a background in it other than what I've learned here, but the information that I've gained thus far has been or will be very valuable in the coming months, especially, excuse me, especially when you all have questions about, well, if you're granted the grant, then, you know, I'll be here to assist you with anything that you need in order to make sure that your grant is completed or that you're having your programs done to fidelity so that you all are reaching the students. So I'm here. I'm not I am an expert, but I'm a working expert. So it's nice seeing you all, and I'm going to turn it over to Miss Erica.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm Erica Rucker. I'm with Truman Pierce Institute at Auburn University. I'm the 21st Century Program Coordinator. So I've been in this position almost 3 years, but I was a site and program director at a 21st Century program for about 11 years before I transitioned. So hopefully I can bring some knowledge and some experience to the crew. And I'm also kind of the person through technical assistance, professional development. So I am the pointer of, you know, this is the person that you need to talk to when you need something. So that's me.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get right to it. But before we do, I do want to go ahead and let you all know that Cohort 17 application and the letter of intent has not been released yet. It is almost ready to be released. That's as far as I can tell you. So that's probably what a lot of you all want to know. Do know that when it is released, Erica will release it to you all, and we will release it from our end, from the State Department, letting all the LEAs know that the application has been released, as well as a letter of intent, which is not required, but it just kind of gives us an idea of who all is interested in applying. Doesn't mean that holds you to it, but if you're just interested in applying, and gives us an idea of who to expect. The timeline for that will be 3 weeks. We will not said it so far we will take in consideration, if the date falls within, so for example, a holiday, 4th of July week, we know a lot of people will be vacation and whatnot. So we do take those things into consideration before we do the date, but we wanted you all to know that we're just as anxious as you are. As soon as we get the green light, you will be the next set of people to know so that you can go ahead and begin working on your application. Do know that if you are interested, just want to have an idea of what that application consists of, what are those different components to be looking at, you're welcome to look on TPI's website, which hosts our 21st Century site that will give you the cohort that we have now, which is cohort 16, and you can look at those different components that kind of give you an idea. Some things have changed, but not a whole lot, but it will kind of give you some guidance as to how to look, what to look at and what to look for. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and open it up for any questions that you may have that we can answer. And if you feel more comfortable putting your questions in the chat, you are welcome to do so. Or if not, you can just unmute yourself and go ahead and speak. So just a couple of things that I know we kind of get questions about would be, for example, if you are a private school and you are looking to become a 21st Century grantee, you would need to have a partnership with the local educational agency in that area where that private school is sitting, and you would need to have a partnership with them, just like you would if you were a community-based organization, such as the Boys and Girls Clubs, one of those, where you are serving students that would ordinarily be zoned for that particular area for those schools. And so you would need to partner with the local educational agency to be able to provide services. So that's a question that I have had to speak to before in the past. Anything you could think of, Erica or Rebecca? I don't want to put you on the spot, but since we're just trying to see if people have any questions that you may not think of, maybe we can kind of get the juices flowing a little bit.
I think something that we've mentioned in the last couple of trainings, and I see a lot of familiar faces on here, so they might already know. There are no paper copies of the application. They will all be through the eGap platform. You essentially, if you fill out the intent to apply, which you don't have to, you will receive a login for eGap if you're not an LEA, and the 21st Century application will go through there. I always suggest, as a former grant writer for 21st Century, that you write it in a Word document and then copy and paste it over. I know in the past it didn't like charts, so they did add some functionality to kind of integrate it into the system, but I know we'll have a eGap training coming up closer to when the RFA is released. So.
That's a very good point. I do see a question here. Someone asked, will I be able to include one grade level from one school and with another school, such as 4th graders at our elementary school with 5th through 8th graders at our middle school? That you can include that, but you want to make sure that you have a conversation with your LEA so that you can talk about where that site is going to be held. Are you going to host the grant at the elementary school for the 5th and 8th graders to come over? Or are you going to host your 21st Century site at the middle school for the 4th graders to come over there? You can do that. You can just write to it, speak to why you're doing that in your grant, but that is an option that you can look into. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say that as far as pre-K is concerned, that's not an option. The pre-K needs to be housed at a school that has students that are at least in kindergarten. So if you're looking to do just a single grade, you need to make sure that it's kindergarten or above. But if it's pre-K, you need to make sure that those pre-K students are at a site that have students that are in grade levels anywhere from K above.
But what Dr. Pines is talking about is just making sure with the grant, you cannot just service just pre-K, like daycare age or just a pre-K site. They have to be, because the state of Alabama does not mandate pre-K students to go to school, you want to make sure that those students, if you were to choose to do pre-K, it is because you're preparing them to be able to make that transition into kindergarten, and those are the students that would hopefully be zoned into going into the school in that area where the 21st century program would be provided, and in preparation for school for kindergarten. And also with the EGAP, I'm not sure if Erica mentioned it, but we will provide training on how to complete that process when you are uploading your information into EGAP. We do have a new platform, which is EGAP 2.0, but you will get a training on making sure that you know the ins and outs of it so that you can meet that deadline. And whatever that date is on the deadline, do know that it always closes at 11:59 p.m. and everything is date stamped. When you put information or make any type of movement within EGAP, is day and date stamp, or date and day stamp, time stamp, excuse me, when you make any type of changes in the platform. So do take that into consideration so that the time doesn't catch you.
I have a question.
Okay.
This is my first time writing a grant. So while we're waiting for it to be released, like what are some like really important things to like make sure we're getting together to make the process smoother?
So you want to make sure that you have had a conversation with your local educational agency, and they are willing to partner with you. Then you want to look at who's going to be your partners. You have two sets of different types of partners. You're going to have a set of partners that are going to help you with the operations, as far as helping everything flow smoothly, getting people from the outside in the community to come in and provide services to your students. That's going to be aligned with that. Your LEA should also be able to assist you with making sure you have your data to support why you're choosing to service those students. You want to also look at who's going to be on your council. Your council people will be there to hear the progress of the of your program, and also to provide you with some boots on the ground, kind of to get more people to come in to assist, because you really want your program to just every year just grow, grow, and grow as far as the community is concerned, because that's the wonderful thing about having the 21st Century Grant. It's just not like a school system kind of a situation. You're trying to teach those students that are coming through this particular grant how to give back to the community and how the community can invest in those students so that they will be the recipients of all that you have invested in them because they have gone through the 21st Century Grant. So those are three areas that you kind of want to concentrate on. And I'm going to let Rebecca, if she doesn't mind, just talk a little bit more about the partnership and the council, the advisory council board.
Yeah, with the partnership, those are people that will be providing your students with different services, which means that, for instance, if you want to teach dance, you don't have anyone in your area to teach dance. I mean, I'm sorry, at your site to teach dance. So you'll reach out to different organizations within the community to provide those students with whatever services you want them to get that enrichment in. And then those are the ones that you definitely have to have a contract with or a memorandum of understanding as to what they're going to provide, how much they're going to charge you for those services. So those are the types of things that you need to go on and start trying to decide what it is that you want to offer your students. The advisory council is basically, it's a council that's made up of different members from your community. It can be individuals, organizations. It can be, you know, someone from the school. It can be parents. It can be just different people from within the community that can offer you some different views on how you can address the needs of the students so that you can better reach them. And then they can kind of provide you with opportunities to reach out to other organizations, people that you may not have thought about, and those try to get you assistance with getting them to help you with your program. And then one of the other things that you need to also be cognizant of is determining what are the needs of the students that are in your area. What is it that you're wanting to do in order to make sure that they are progressing academically? And actually, it's the program 21st Century is more so it's more than just academics. It kind of caters to the whole child, which means that you're going to be providing those students with, of course, academics, but then you're also going to be providing them with some enrichment activities that they wouldn't otherwise get. So those are the types of things you need to be looking into to say, okay, I know that my kids are coming from, you know, this type of background and they've never done, you know, these types of things. So what are some of the things you want to offer them? Um, let's see. And then also, I think one thing that you need to also consider when you're putting together this list of things that you need to do, kind of come up with I guess, a budget on how much is it going to cost to do, you know, what it is that you're wanting to do so that you'll know how much you want to, you know, request for your grant as well. Um, will there transportation be needed? Will you need that transportation to get those students from one location to another within your program? These are all different things that you need to kind of start putting in place now so that you'll know that once the application does drop, then I need to make sure I have this in place, you know, those different types of things in place.
And one of the
Thank you.
things we want to, you're welcome. One of the things we also want to bring to you all's attention is there are some funding that's going on right now that is about to run out. I know you've probably heard about the ARP-ESSER funds that was released due to as a reaction to the COVID pandemic. And those funds are running out this summer. If you need to speak to how you can continue any programs, you can braid those funds together with those any LEAs that may already have that funding, so that there's not a breakage of services. Like, you don't want the students who are already getting any type of services already to feel the impact due to the fact that the funding source has changed. And so 21st Century does have the opportunity to support LEAs who may be doing summer programs now, but they know that the next summer is going to run out. They will not have those funds to support them, and how you can continue to support the families and the students through the 21st century. And so we know that the Literacy Act and the mathematical literacy has gone through as well, math literacy has gone through as well, as far as having additional summer funding that is required by the state. You want to continue, that really works in favor of 21st Century, because the heads can come together to talk about the academics, who they would be more of an expert knowing the data and all the needs to support those students, but then you're the expert to come in to show how you can use the community to support the enrichment part of it and how it's extended out to the creative arts and all of that. And so that's where the 21st century could come in to support that. But, you know, we just want to make sure that you're aware if you ever hear anyone say, well, right now we can't use 21st century because we have the ARP ESSER funds, or we have the Literacy Act, or we have the math literacy going on. Did I say something wrong?
Numeracy.
Numeracy. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's
the
okay.
numeracy, the numeracy act or whatever going on. You'll know how to speak to it, and you can talk to them a little bit about it. And we've had conversations from our level with different LEAs and organizations and giving them some ideas of how we could come to the table to work it out so that it'll be beneficial to all.
And I think one other thing that you need to start looking into is personnel, and making sure that the salary that you are offering your personnel is competitive, so that you can, you know, recruit and have those persons in place when you're getting ready to write your grant. And then there's a field trip. Oh, wait, this is from Dorinda. She said, has field trip approvals been sent out? Dorinda, what site are you from? I'm sorry.
I'm with SAFE. We have 6 sites, and we're wondering, our transportation director at from 2 of the sites is kind of pressing us to want to know when we're going, where we're going, and how many buses they need. And so, you know, we just have to tell her, we don't know yet. We haven't been approved.
Okay, if you don't mind, just send me an email, Dorinda, so when we're done with this call, I can look into it, or either pick up the phone and call you and let you know
Okay, thank
the
you.
outcome of it.
I have another question, ma'am. You brought up the making sure the salary is competitive. So is that something that we determine? There's not like a standards-based salary for like
No.
the teachers are there? Okay.
Okay, no, it's not. I guess what's recommended is that you kind of look at the salary that the teachers are being offered for any of the other summer programs that they are offering within your area, and then just try to make sure, when I say competitive, so if the teachers are being, I don't know what the salaries are at this point, but if they're being paid $25, don't try to bring in teachers that are and pay them, I'll say $12 or $12.50, because a lot of the teachers, they are going to opt to go to the $25 rather than the $12. So you just need to kind of look in your area or ask around at your LEA, you know, what is it that teachers are, what's the salary, so that you can at least be, you know, meet that salary or be, you know, somewhere really close to it, so that you don't lose out on teachers going to other locations rather than coming to teach with 21st Century. And then we have some better basics. I don't mean to put you all on the spot, but can you speak to them in reference to the salaries, Dorinda, not Dorinda, Wardrobe, Doris.
Good afternoon.
Dana.
Yeah, we were just speaking with Dr. Pines and Ms. Alves last week about salary and just trying to compete with the schools, and we were lowballing. We're as a company, we felt that we were lowballing our employees. We have sustained our programs this year, excuse me, but summer we're struggling just a little bit. So we were asking pretty much the same question. And we're learning that if we receive our grants and our awards, that's our responsibility to make sure that we take care of our people. And so we work closely with one school system, so it's pretty easy to figure out what they're paying their summer people. And that's what we're going to do, is have that discussion so we can be competitive. And we have learned about braiding, and we appreciate that. It's something new to think about, but we have already thought about the ESSA money running out. And so we did look ahead, but the braiding concept is even better for what we're trying to do to keep our close relationship with our teachers.
Erica, did you want to say something?
Not about braiding funds, but definitely look at the amount that your school district is paying. Maybe not the amount that they are paying this summer for the ESSER funds that are going to run out, because some districts are paying absorbent amounts for the ESSER funds, but next summer those monies will be gone. So think about the amount that they generally pay their staff, and try to get around that amount. But also be mindful and maybe get a little bit above that amount because you're competitive. So if you think about your Literacy Act and your Numeracy Act and all of those different legislative summer camps that are coming along, they didn't have as many lesson plans, documentation things that 21st Century had. So be mindful that your staff is going to be looking at, well, do I have an easy breezy summer or do I have a fun summer? And I know the fun summer sounds good to us and to the kids and to a percentage of people who just want to be here for the love of the kids. But at the end of the day, teachers are tired. So by the time the summer comes, they might vie for the easy breezy if it's the same amount. So just be mindful of that.
And one other thing that I wanted to say, because Erica said that, because the students are, a lot of the students are having to participate in the numeracy and the Literacy Act this summer, or the programs that they are being offered that way, if you really communicate with the LEA that you will be working closely with, then you can they can take care of that academic piece during the morning, and then you can utilize your funds just for the enrichment piece in the afternoon. So that's one of the things that you really need to consider this summer, because you're not having to use your funds basically, because the students will be there all day. They're the same students. They'll get that academic piece, but what you all are doing with the 21st Century monies is bringing that enrichment piece to life from whatever it is that they learned earlier on in the day. Are there any other new, I guess, people on that have not had the grant before other than Ms. Agnew? So I guess everyone else has had the program or the 21st Century grant before?
I have not, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are you feeling comfortable with,
Yes, we're working on our MOUs and our partnerships in our council right now, but I'm excited to see the application.
oh, okay. Have you gone out to the 21st Century website?
Yeah.
The Alabama one? Okay.
And I've
Were
looked
you
at
able-
the 16th cohort as well.
You
I'm
looked at
sorry.
it,
say
okay.
that-
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have any other questions about anything, Grace?
No, I didn't. I just kind of popped on here to see what everybody was up to. And then I got a lot of good answers. So thanks everybody for your questions.
Okay.
Well, if there's not any other questions, give me a couple more seconds and then we're gonna go ahead and end. But you all are welcome to reach out to us if you have any questions. And like I said, trust me, when we get that the okay to push it on out, that application, it's gonna be like a billboard. Y'all gonna know. Trust me. We gonna make sure you know, because I can imagine. Okay, yes.
I do have a question. Is there a way I can get placed on an the email list for the information, because everything I'm getting is like through someone else. They're forwarding it to me. So
I think Erica
yeah.
just
Just
posted
pop
it.
It did.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
I just
great.
So
dropped
we
my info
won't
in the chat
shut
box.
down without you guys looking at the that's the email that you need to email, which is Erica, and she'll put you on the list so that you can make sure that you're getting all of the announcements, as well as the announcement for the cohort 17 application. So we'll give you a few minutes to get that taken care of and written down, but she is our announcer for just about everything when it comes to anything dealing with the 21st century. So yeah, go ahead and write her email down. All right, well, this officially ends our virtual meeting for today. We have one more, which will be on May 31st. So if you want to come back and join us again, you're welcome to. I think that one is from 11 to 1 o'clock on May 31st. It's the same. Zoom link to come back for the last office hours. And that's basically it. So if you have any questions between then and now, or if you know someone else who may have missed today and you just want to let them know, we're here one more time on May 31st from 11 to 1 using the same Zoom link. That being said, we're done, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.